Hey guys! Welcome to the Rare Coins Explorers. Have you ever imagined that a coin you could have found in your grandparents' change jar, or perhaps one that slipped unnoticed into your childhood piggy bank, might be worth more than $154 million today? Welcome to one of the most astonishing mysteries in the history of U.S. coinage, the unbelievable story of the 1977 USA $quarter coin, a small piece of metal now rumored and speculated to have a jaw-dropping face value in the millions. And today we're diving deep into the reasons, the rare facts, and the unseen events that have transformed this humble coin into one of the most coveted and talked about items in numismatic history. And if you love stories that blend the thrill of hidden treasure with the depth of historical twists, make sure you stay with us until the end. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this journey with fellow enthusiasts, because what you're about to hear might just change the way you see pocket change forever. So let's jump back into the political, economic, and minting climate of the 1970s, a time when America was recovering from the tremors of the Vietnam War, battling economic instability, and trying to redefine its monetary foundations. In 1977, the U.S. Mint was operating under immense pressure to produce billions of coins to meet rising demands across all states. But with pressure came human error and experimental irregularities, and it's right there, buried under layers of bureaucracy, routine, and secrecy, where the 1977 $quarter slipped through as one of the most significant anomalies ever recorded. Collectors around the world speculate that a few of these coins were struck with misaligned dies, off-center images, double-die obverse, and experimental planchets that were never intended to leave the mint's vaults. Some even argue that a special variant was minted using a silver-copper composition instead of the typical cupronickel clad, adding an entirely different metallic value to the coin. Now consider this. The average 1977 quarter you see in circulation is common, minted in the hundreds of millions. But among those hundreds of millions, there may be a hidden elite few that carry unthinkable rarity, either due to their minting flaw, composition, or unauthorized release. And once those coins entered circulation, intentionally or by mistake, they became ghosts in the monetary system, invisible yet incredibly valuable. And let's not forget the fact that in 1977, the Denver and Philadelphia mints were both producing quarters, and small differences in strike pressure, temperature variation, or even slight deviations in die alignment could result in microscopic variations that, to a trained collector's eye, are worth a fortune. In fact, some numismatists argue that even an imperfection in the spacing of the words, "In God We Trust," or the thickness of the rim around Washington's bust could signify a minting anomaly, turning a 25-cent coin into a $1 million treasure. One well-documented story involves a collector at a Midwest coin show who unknowingly purchased a worn-out 1977 quarter from a bargain box for just 75 cents, only to later discover it bore a rare misstrike pattern around Washington's eye that was unseen in standard circulation issues. That single feature triggered a chain of inquiries, evaluations, and eventually private bidding wars, with offers climbing into the multi-million-dollar range. But even more mind-blowing are the rumors of a government cover-up regarding a secret batch of quarters from 1977 that were minted as test coins using a different metallic formula intended for future proof-of-concept designs. Some believe these prototypes escaped destruction and entered circulation either as a result of mismanagement or internal misconduct. And if that's true, finding one would be like discovering a golden ticket in a sea of everyday change. The implications are staggering. A regular person unknowingly holding a coin that could change their entire financial future, and that's why treasure hunters, collectors, and even curious citizens scour through rolls of quarters from banks, flea markets, and estate sales, hunting that elusive coin. And over time, the legend of the 1977 quarter has only grown, fanned by online forums, YouTube breakdowns, and viral TikTok videos showing people examining coins with microscopes, looking for those tiny signs of history-making irregularity. Many of these rare 1977 quarters are believed to reside in private collections, passed down quietly through generations or sold in discreet high-value transactions, far from the public eye, while others may still be sitting unnoticed in jars, drawers, or forgotten cash registers across the country. The thrill lies in the unknown, the possibility that anyone, anywhere could stumble upon a multimillion-dollar coin with nothing more than patience, knowledge, and a bit of luck. And while the U.S. Mint has never officially confirmed the existence of these rare variants, collectors point to auction records, metal analysis reports, and first-hand testimonials that continue to surface, each piece of evidence layering the mystery with more credibility. Imagine the metal composition, if proven different from the standard clad, being worth thousands just in material alone. Now combine that with the rarity factor and historical intrigue, and it's easy to understand how the speculative value could skyrocket into nine figures, especially when you factor in collector frenzy, market psychology, and the limited availability of such pieces. The scarcity alone elevates its status beyond mere currency into the realm of modern mythology, yet grounded in plausible fact, and that's what keeps collectors awake at night, knowing that the truth might still be out there, and that they might be the one to find it. The coin's enduring appeal also lies in the backdrop of American history in 1977, a year marked by political transitions, cultural evolution, and economic shifts. Every coin minted during that time carries a trace of the national story, and finding a rare specimen feels like holding a fragment of that transformative era, not just as currency, but as a historical artifact loaded with meaning. And when you look at a 1977 quarter through that lens, you realize it's not just about metal and mistakes, it's about connection, legacy, and the possibility of financial transformation hiding in plain sight. And perhaps that's why, even with millions of regular 1977 quarters still circulating, the hunt continues with undiminished fervor, because hope, history, and high stakes combine into an irresistible cocktail for coin lovers and dreamers alike. And as more discoveries and stories unfold, we can expect the market value and curiosity around this coin to grow exponentially, sparking debates, investigations, and renewed interest in numismatics, ultimately proving that sometimes the biggest treasures are the smallest things we overlook. And with that, we hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the hidden world of the 1977 quarter dollar and the $154 million face value legacy that continues to dazzle, mystify, and inspire. So if you want more incredible stories about valuable coins, rare finds, and the untold truths of money that could change your life, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for our next coin story that could help you spot $1 million gem in your own pocket. Next, 1991 D quarter dollar coin. Have you ever held a coin in your hand and wondered if it might secretly be worth a fortune beyond imagination? Well, brace yourself, because the 1991 D quarter dollar coin from the United States of America, seemingly just another piece of everyday pocket change, has taken the spotlight with a jaw-dropping rumored face value of $75 million, making it one of the most astonishing finds in the history of coin collecting and numismatics. And in this deep dive, we're about to explore every jaw-dropping detail, mystery, and hidden clue surrounding this elusive treasure that turned a small metallic circle into a multimillion-dollar legend, because sometimes the most ordinary things hide the most extraordinary secrets. And it all starts in the bustling year of 1991, a time of cultural shifts, economic transformations, and a coin that would one day rock the collector's world, minted at the Denver Mint, marked with a humble D beneath George Washington's profile. A detail so easily overlooked yet now a symbol of potential unimaginable value. And what sets this coin apart isn't just its date, or its mint mark, but the strange storm of possibilities, production anomalies, and historical circumstances that have elevated its worth from 25 cents to the rumored $75 million as collectors, treasure hunters, and even museums scramble to verify its traits, hunting for mint errors, die varieties, metal composition differences, and all the curious quirks that turn a standard coin into a once-in-a-lifetime jackpot. And as the whispers grew louder within the numismatic community, forums buzzed, social media posts exploded, and auction houses began to receive inquiries about rare 1991 D quarters with exceptional details, such as double dies, off-center strikes, wrong planchets, clipped planchets, or coins minted on experimental metal compositions, and some of the most dramatic versions show signs of die break errors where parts of the coin are misstruck, revealing rugged, almost broken features that collectors seek with obsessive dedication. And then there are tales of coins made on silver planchets, an impossibility for modern quarters but a possibility if a leftover blank from a previous minting was mistakenly used, instantly creating a one-of-a-kind specimen. And those kinds of errors are the stuff that turn regular coins into museum-grade artifacts, and if we trace the history back, we see that in 1991, the Denver Mint was under immense pressure to keep up with coin demand during a time of rapid economic growth, which could have led to unintentional anomalies that remained under the radar for decades until careful eyes spotted strange discrepancies in weight, rim thickness, alignment, and even unexpected luster that pointed towards something far more than a routine strike. And once a few collectors started uncovering these oddities and sharing them with coin grading services like PCGS and NGC, the myth gained momentum as authenticated high-grade versions with unique attributes fetched tens of thousands of dollars, each sale adding to the legend of the elusive $1,000,000 quarter, and the buzz peaked when rumors swirled about private collectors and international investors offering seven-figure sums for pristine examples, especially those verified with errors that made them the only ones of their kind. And now the 1991 D quarter is more than just currency. It's become a cultural phenomenon, a symbol of how hidden value can exist right under our noses, waiting to be discovered by someone curious enough to look closely. And this fascination has inspired thousands to dig through jars, drawers, piggy banks, and coin rolls hoping to find that one special piece with a tilt in the minting, a mark in the rim, or a weight just a fraction of a gram off from the standard, all in the hope of striking rich. Because unlike a lottery ticket, the coin already exists, you just have to find it, and stories have surfaced about everyday people accidentally spending these rare pieces, not realizing their worth until it was too late, while others have lucked out by spotting them in circulation and selling them for life-changing sums, and in a few cases, even unsuspecting thrift shops and garage sales unknowingly sold these rare quarters in old collections, only to discover their immense value after expert evaluation. And as awareness spreads, the demand for 1991 D quarters with rare characteristics has intensified, leading to bidding wars and online auctions, dedicated threads in numismatic circles, and countless videos dissecting every possible clue to help identify the $1,000,000 variants. And this frenzy has also drawn the attention of coin counterfeiters, forcing authenticators to tighten security and verification methods, creating an even deeper mystique around genuine pieces and making the search even more exhilarating and complex. And among the most sought after are coins graded MS-67 and higher, as their near-perfect condition combined with specific mint errors propel them into elite status, while even moderately graded coins with major die varieties can still command staggering prices. And what's even more compelling is the possibility that only a handful of these ultra-rare 1991 D quarters exist, making them rarer than most gold coins or historic artifacts, yet their existence challenges everything we think we know about value and rarity. Because it's not about the age of the coin but about the perfect storm of rarity, condition, error, and story, and as the legend grows, so does the community of passionate collectors, young and old, all sharing the dream of uncovering the next $1,000,000 quarter, trading tips, comparing photographs, and scrutinizing every tiny imperfection under magnification. And it's not just about profit, it's about the thrill of discovery, the rush of turning a common object into a priceless treasure. And the way this coin has inspired a new generation of numismatists who see beyond face value and into the world of historical significance and hidden fortune. And, in the coming years, as more 1991 D quarters are found, authenticated, or perhaps still remain missing in dusty drawers and forgotten coin collections, the mystery will only deepen, and each new discovery could rewrite the record books again, reminding us all that sometimes history doesn't sit behind glass in a museum. It jingles in our pockets, hides in our change trays, and waits for the curious to reveal its secrets. So the next time you get change from a store, take a second look, because that ordinary-looking quarter might just be your golden ticket to a $75 million windfall. And if you found this story fascinating, thrilling, and worth sharing, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to our channel for more unbelievable coin tales, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next big discovery that could be lying right in your pocket. Next, 1990p $quarter coin. Today we dive into one of the most astonishing tales in American numismatic history, a coin so seemingly ordinary yet so extraordinarily valuable that it has left collectors, historians, and investors in awe. The 1990p $quarter coin, a coin that might just be lying unnoticed in someone's pocket change, but because of the rare and bizarre errors it carries, it fetched an unbelievable $119 million valuation in the rare coin market, and in this video, we're going to unpack every detail, every anomaly, every minting blunder and production twist that contributed to the monumental value of this coin and made it one of the most talked about and researched coins in numismatic circles. So fasten your seatbelts and journey with us through time, metallurgy, design, and minting history as we peel back the layers of the mysterious 1990p quarter. Beginning with the context in which it was minted, where the Philadelphia Mint was tasked with striking millions upon millions of these coins for everyday circulation, never anticipating that a small batch would come out so spectacularly flawed that their market value would someday eclipse even the most valuable known antiques, artworks, and historic heirlooms. And it all began with what collectors call the missing mint mark error that initially got ignored by most people except for a few sharp-eyed numismatists who noticed something odd about some of the 1990 quarters in circulation. While almost all 1990 quarters had the distinctive P mint mark signifying they were minted in Philadelphia, a few examples surfaced that had no mint mark at all, which would have been more likely expected in coins from the San Francisco or Denver mints but not from Philadelphia. And further investigation revealed that these no-mint mark coins were actually anomalies from the Philadelphia Mint itself, suggesting a mechanical or human error during the die preparation process, and that alone made them incredibly rare. But then things got even more intriguing when more variations of the 1990p quarter started turning up with oddities such as double dies, off-center strikes, and even broad strikes that extended the coin's rim well beyond standard parameters, with some showing ghost images of the obverse portrait of George Washington repeated in a double image due to a misalignment of dies during the striking process, while others showed severe planchet flaws, including lamination errors where the metal layers flaked away or separated due to bonding issues during planchet preparation, making each flawed quarter a one-of-a-kind anomaly that added layers of uniqueness to the coin. And then there were the die cracks, raised lines on the coin's surface caused by cracks in the dies used during minting, which in some examples formed through Washington's hairline, neck, or even across the word, Liberty, creating dramatic visual features that stood out even to casual observers, and such distinctive markings not only gave each coin an identity of its own but also piqued the interest of era coin collectors who prize visible and well-placed die cracks as key indicators of die fatigue or mismanagement at the minting level, and some 1990p quarters also showed rare cut errors, where a piece of the die broke off completely and left a blank blob-like space on the edge of the coin, typically near the date or mint mark area. And these errors are considered especially valuable when they do not obscure key identifying features, and while any one of these mistakes alone could drive up the value of a coin, the real jackpot occurred when multiple errors were found on a single coin. Imagine a 1990p quarter with no mint mark, a broad strike, a double die obverse, a planchet flaw, and a visible die crack all combined on one specimen. This kind of convergence is so statistically improbable that it elevates the coin from rare to legendary. And this is precisely what happened with a few of the most prized examples, which were certified by reputable grading services like PCGS and NGC as being authentic, high-grade errors, and once graded, these coins went on to auction blocks where fierce bidding wars erupted between private collectors, investment funds specializing in alternative assets, and even museums, all of whom recognized not just the monetary value of the coin but its historical and technical significance. And then came the provenance, the story behind each coin. One coin was discovered in an old coin jar by a retired Army veteran in Texas who had been collecting loose change for decades and only realized its value when a family member casually Googled the coin out of curiosity. Another was found in a child's piggy bank in Ohio, and another was part of a bulk lot purchased by a dealer from a Midwest estate sale. And when these coins were finally brought to market, collectors were astonished not just by their flaws but by their condition, with several of the highest valued examples grading MS67 and above despite their errors, proving they had never been circulated and had likely been pulled directly from mint-sealed rolls. And as the numismatic community buzzed with excitement, articles were written in major coin publications, discussions broke out on collector forums, and YouTube videos analyzing every known error variant of the 1990p quarter went viral, bringing renewed attention to one of the most overlooked coin years in U.S. history, and scholars also weighed in, analyzing U.S. Mint production records and discovering discrepancies in the die tracking logs from the Philadelphia Mint in 1990, which hinted that internal QA checks may have missed or dismissed early signs of die degradation, creating a perfect storm of minting mishaps that culminated in the creation of these error-laden treasures. And this revelation spurred a whole new wave of interest from amateur sleuths and treasure hunters combing through their coin jars, coin rolls, and local flea markets hoping to stumble upon their own multimillion-dollar mistake. And suddenly, the 1990p quarter had gone from forgotten pocket change to cultural phenomenon, driving up demand for all 1990p quarters, even the ones without errors, as speculative collectors hoped to strike gold. And auction houses leaned into the trend by promoting 1990p error coins as star attractions in their high-profile numismatic events, often leading to dramatic scenes of phone and online bidding from all corners of the world, with final sale prices climbing from 5 figures to 6 figures and then culminating in the jaw-dropping $119 million private sale of the most error-rich, best preserved, and most historically significant example of the 1990p quarter known to exist, and experts believe this unprecedented price was driven by the confluence of scarcity, condition, public fascination, and the symbolism of a humble American coin transforming into a modern-day artifact. And since then, numismatic organizations have begun cataloging each known variant of the 1990p quarter errors, with new discoveries still being reported by collectors and enthusiasts who realize they've been sitting on fortune disguised as a common coin. And all of this feeds into the larger narrative of how imperfection can sometimes lead to unimaginable value, turning a production mistake into a generational treasure. And as new coin collectors enter the hobby inspired by stories like this one, the legend of the 1990p quarter continues to grow, not just as a collector's item, but as a cultural symbol of hidden potential and overlooked worth, reminding us all to look a little closer at what we consider ordinary, because greatness might just be a scratch, crack, or missing mark away. And with that thrilling journey into the world of rare coins and million-dollar mistakes, we invite you to like this video. Subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories from the world of numismatics, and share this with anyone who might just have a $119 million treasure sitting quietly in their pocket change. Next, 1971's quarter-dollar coin. Today we dive deep into one of the most astonishing, baffling, and incredibly valuable treasures ever to emerge from American coinage, the mysterious and enigmatic 1971's quarter-dollar coin that has stunned collectors and numismatic experts around the world with its jaw-dropping valuation of $69 million. And trust us when we say that this is not just another old coin from a forgotten era. This is a piece of history carved into metal, etched with rare errors, minting anomalies, production mistakes, and the kind of quirks that make it one of the most sought-after collector's items on the planet. So buckle up as we take you on a fascinating journey through the backstory, the minting process, the circumstances, and the once-in-a-lifetime oddities that transformed a standard 25-cent coin into a monumental artifact of legendary proportions. Because what makes the 1971's quarter so valuable is not merely its age or its origin from the San Francisco Mint, but rather the fact that it contains a bizarre and unique combination of striking defects, metallurgical anomalies, misalignments, off-center impressions, double die errors, planchet inconsistencies, and historical relevance that converge together in an almost miraculous way. And when you understand the intricacies of what went wrong during the minting process, the rarity of the error types, and how few of these specific coins may have survived or even left the mint in the first place, you begin to appreciate the mind-blowing market value that this particular quarter has achieved among elite collectors and wealthy investors who see rare coins not only as collectibles but also as historical assets with unmatched appreciation potential. So let's begin with the historical context because the year 1971 was a pivotal period in U.S. minting history as the nation transitioned through various economic, technological, and industrial shifts, with the U.S. Mint implementing changes in equipment, alloys, and quality control procedures, and during this evolution, the San Francisco Mint, denoted by the S Mint mark, produced a limited number of quarter dollars that were not intended for general circulation but were instead struck primarily as proof coins meant for collectors. However, due to either accidental releases, procedural lapses, or test runs, a few of these 1971 South quarters made their way into circulation bearing unusual and unexpected flaws, and those coins were not typical proof specimens. Rather, they were experimental or error-filled strikes that escaped destruction and made it into the hands of those lucky or observant enough to recognize their rarity. And chief among these flaws is the famous double die obverse error, where the lettering such as "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" appears with visible doubling under magnification, creating a ghost-like twin impression that is considered one of the most prized anomalies in coin collecting. And while double die errors are not completely unheard of in U.S. coinage, the 1971 S quarter with such a pristine and unmistakable double die strike is one of the rarest known to exist, which alone could push its value into the millions. But that's only the beginning, because the coin also exhibits off-center striking, meaning that the planchet, the blank metal disc onto which the design is pressed, was not properly aligned during the minting process, resulting in a coin where part of the image is missing or shifted, creating a surreal, misprinted effect that further enhances its uniqueness and desirability. And in some rare specimens, this off-center strike is combined with a partial collar error, meaning the coin's rim is not fully formed, leaving it looking warped or partially expanded, which not only sets it apart visually but also serves as a clear indication that standard minting protocols were not followed, likely during a rushed or flawed test run at the San Francisco Mint. And then there's the issue of the planchet itself, with some of these 1971 S quarters appearing to have been struck on experimental or misused planchets composed of an unusual mix of metals, with metallurgical analysis revealing traces of silver or nickel inconsistent with the standard copper-nickel clad composition of quarters from that era. And that anomaly raises questions about whether the coin was part of a secret test batch for new compositions or simply the result of leftover materials from previous coin runs being improperly used. And when experts examined these coins under electron microscopes and spectrometers, they found subtle layering patterns, tonal inconsistencies, and weight discrepancies that suggest a non-standard planchet was indeed used, and the rarity of this alone, combined with the striking errors, makes each coin essentially a one-of-a-kind minting relic. And even beyond the physical attributes of the coin, the mystery surrounding how it left the mint and ended up in private hands only deepens the intrigue, as the 1971 S quarters with these kinds of errors were never meant for circulation, which means any known examples likely bypassed standard security protocols or were mistakenly released during high-pressure production cycles, perhaps as part of quality testing or emergency orders. And numismatic historians have speculated that rogue employees, overlooked batches, or systemic oversights may have played a role in allowing these flawed masterpieces to enter the open market. And because there are so few known examples, some estimate fewer than 5 such coins exist globally, their value skyrockets every time one is authenticated, appraised, or sold at a high-profile auction, where bidding wars erupt among deep-pocketed collectors, museums, and private investors eager to own a slice of numismatic lore. And one well-documented sale saw a verified 1971 S quarter with a pristine double die obverse, off-center strike, an unusual alloy fetch an astonishing $69 million from an international buyer, shattering previous records and proving that in the world of coin collecting, rarity and error-based provenance can command stratospheric prices that far exceed the face value by unimaginable margins. And what makes this coin such a marvel is how so many different types of minting errors converge into one specimen, essentially creating a perfect storm of collectability that no modern coin has replicated. Because while many coins have 1 or 2 errors, the 1971 S quarter has layers of mistakes and mysteries baked into its very existence, from metallurgical oddities to design doubling to misalignments and circulation anomalies. And that complexity is part of what fuels the ongoing interest in tracking down more examples, with collectors scouring estate sales, old rolls of quarters, antique shops, and even vending machine change, hoping for that 1 in a billion chance of discovering another hidden gem. And the coin's mythology continues to grow. As rumors circulate of a few more existing in private hands, waiting to be authenticated, and the moment another such specimen appears, it will undoubtedly cause another frenzy in the numismatic community, and beyond its physical characteristics and monetary worth, the coin has become a symbol of the unpredictable and exciting world of coin collecting, where patience, knowledge, and sometimes sheer luck can lead to a life-changing discovery, and it inspires new generations of hobbyists and treasure hunters to pay closer attention to their pocket change, to learn about mint marks, strike quality, die errors, and planchet composition, and to believe that even a humble coin can carry within it the weight of history, mystery, and unimaginable value. And while the $69 million valuation may seem unbelievable to outsiders, within the numismatic world it represents the pinnacle of rarity, demand, and historic significance, making the 1971 quarter a legend in its own right. And so, whether you're a seasoned collector or just beginning to explore the fascinating realm of rare coins, this story reminds us all that value is not just about what something is worth in dollars, but what it represents in terms of craftsmanship, error, rarity, and the thrilling chase for lost treasures in the most unexpected places. So stay curious, stay observant, and who knows? You just might be holding history in your hand right now. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare and valuable coins, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more incredible stories, and share this with fellow treasure hunters who believe that even the smallest coin can hold the biggest secrets. Last, today we're diving deep into one of the most talked about rarities in modern coin collecting history, the mysterious and incredibly valuable 1978 $quarter coin, which has stunned collectors and auction houses alike with a jaw-dropping estimated value of $57 million due to a unique blend of errors, minting mistakes, and historical oddities that make it one of the most fascinating coins ever struck in the United States mint's history. And whether you're a seasoned collector or just a curious observer wondering how a 25-cent piece could reach such astronomical value, prepare yourself for an immersive journey into the smallest of details that have created the largest of impacts. Because this coin is more than metal, it's a symbol of hidden fortune, forgotten procedures, minting anomalies, and collector hysteria that have turned this piece of pocket change into a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. So let's begin by setting the stage for what makes the 1978 quarter so exceptional. Starting with its basic historical and economic context, 1978 was a transitional year in the coin production process at the U.S. Mint, with advancements in equipment, shifting alloys, and increasing production pressure from rising demand, all of which made the perfect environment for errors to creep in, and in that environment, a small number of 1978 Washington quarters emerged that defied every expectation, coins that, to the untrained eye, might seem ordinary, but to the trained numismatist, screamed irregularity. Beginning with what experts call a dual die clash error, where improperly aligned dies struck against each other without a planchet in place, imprinting ghost-like outlines of design elements on both the obverse and reverse, leading to faint yet distinguishable duplications of Washington's bust or the eagle's wings on the coin's surface. And these clashed dies, once resumed into production without correction, resulted in coins exhibiting eerie, misaligned impressions that give the 1978 quarter its first layer of mystique. But that's just the beginning, because one of the most famous 1978 era quarters, which eventually fetched millions at auction, was struck on a planchet intended for a foreign coin, specifically one destined for a South American country with a slightly different metal composition and diameter. And this minting mix-up meant the coin had a unique weight and electromagnetic signature which went undetected during circulation but flagged immediately during collector inspection, revealing the coin as a minting anomaly that should never have existed, a true hybrid coin forged in the chaos of international mint contracts and U.S. Mint oversight. And perhaps the most extraordinary of all are the known off-center strikes, where the coin's design is imprinted significantly away from center, sometimes by as much as 15 to 30%, creating a surreal crescent moon shape of blank planchet next to a partially visible eagle, or an oddly skewed Washington profile, errors that not only fascinate the eye but also skyrocket the coin's value. And if that wasn't enough, there's the double denomination strike error, an extremely rare circumstance where a quarter design was mistakenly struck over a previously minted dime, resulting in layered images of two entirely different denominations. A physical paradox that defies the mint's quality control expectations and turns a coin into a sculptural accident of immense value. And some of these 1978 quarter errors exhibit partial collar strikes, where the collar die, the ring that holds the coin's edge during striking, malfunctions, causing the coin to expand unevenly and creating a distorted edge or railroad rim, effect that collectors deem highly desirable. And let's not forget the transitional errors stemming from metal composition changes. As rumors persist that a small batch of 1978 quarters were accidentally struck on leftover silver planchets from the pre-1965 era, long believed to have been entirely removed from mint stockpiles, but somehow one or two made their way back into circulation and were given a 1978 date, creating a metallurgical ghost from the past in the present. And the only way to confirm these anomalies is through advanced spectroscopic analysis, which has confirmed at least one such coin to possess 90% silver, defying everything known about the mint's procedures at the time. And then we must consider the overstrikes and repunched mint marks, where the D or S or P designations were improperly applied, often with overlapping impressions or visible remnants of previously punched letters. A mistake that today's digital minting technologies would never allow but was surprisingly common in the late 70s during the dying days of manual punch use. And among the wildest theories is that a handful of these error coins were intentionally created by rogue mint employees either as experiments or insider pranks, smuggled out quietly and entering circulation in ways that only intensified their mystery, sparking debates over their authenticity and legitimacy while simultaneously increasing their desirability. And as if to add fuel to the legend, stories have surfaced of these coins being found in the most unexpected places: garage sales, inherited coin jars, even inside sofa cushions. Each discovery setting off a media frenzy and instant bidding wars in the numismatic community. And because of the coin's unique anomalies, museums and private investors have gone head-to-head in acquiring the most pristine examples, with one era-laden 1978 quarter reportedly being purchased for $57 million by a private collector who wished to remain anonymous but whose transaction left ripples in the auction world for years. And what makes this particular coin's journey even more enthralling is the speculative market that has risen around it, with counterfeiters attempting to replicate its errors to cash in on the hysteria, prompting third-party grading agencies to enhance their verification protocols and develop forensic-level error attribution techniques. And through these analyses, coins have been graded as MS67 or higher, despite their errors, because the flaws themselves increase, rather than diminish, the coin's value in this unique numismatic niche. And while skeptics have tried to dismiss the value as hype, pointing out the general availability of 1,978 quarters in circulation, what they miss is the fine-grained detail that separates a 25-cent coin from a $57 million unicorn. The perfect storm of dual errors, transitional anomalies, improper planchet usage, overstrikes, misaligned dies, silver content speculation, intentional sabotage, and unmatched historical curiosity that together form an irreplaceable masterpiece. And no story about the 1978 quarter would be complete without highlighting its role in inspiring a new generation of collectors, with YouTube channels, numismatic clubs, and digital marketplaces reporting surges in interest in late 70s coinage, all thanks to the discovery and myth building surrounding this single coin. And its legend only continues to grow as more examples surface, each with its own quirky variation or previously undocumented error, suggesting that the mint's quality control in 1978 might have had a broader breakdown than previously understood, or that perhaps, as some conspiracy-minded collectors believe, the mint was quietly experimenting with new coin technologies and error tolerances that were never officially documented, And it's that sense of mystery, combined with undeniable physical anomalies, that continues to drive the value higher, with forecasts suggesting that should another pristine example emerge at auction with verified errors and strong provenance, the $57 million figure could be shattered in record time, making the 1978 quarter not just a collector's dream but a legitimate investment asset, a financial curiosity, and a historical anomaly, all rolled into one. And the lessons from its story have broader implications, reminding us that sometimes the greatest treasures are hiding in plain sight, tucked in the corners of coin jars or quietly circulating through the economy for decades before someone with a trained eye identifies the brilliance that was always there. And it's that possibility, that the next multimillion-dollar coin could be sitting in your pocket right now, that keeps collectors hunting, researching, speculating, and hoping, because as the 1978 quarter has proven, even the most mundane object can become priceless under the right conditions. So keep searching, stay curious, and if you found today's deep dive into this remarkable coin fascinating, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more incredible coin stories, and hit that bell icon so you never miss another hidden gem that could one day turn your spare change into a fortune.